Hi, I'm Davy, and I'm awesome. And welcome to Davy's Awesome Stories, where I tell a funny story from my past or go on a rant in an effort to make you laugh. Something I've thought about before, because I think about important things. See, like probably many of you, I've been in conversations with people many times about what they would do if they ever went back into the past. And man, I've given that some heavy thought because, like the advice my dad gave me on my wedding day, if you ever go back in time, don't step on anything. The smallest things could have drastic effects on our future.
We don't care if you get it.
But seriously, so many thoughts of time travel have come around and what people would do, what they wouldn't do. Could they do anything because what has already happened has happened type deals? Who knows? Apparently people think The Simpsons do, but that's just a bunch of people really looking way too hard into something. A lot of people seem to have the same things that they say they would do if they went back in time. Like the most common one is, if I could go back in time, I'd kill Adolf Hitler before he was able to do the Holocaust. Which I understand that one. He did some really, really horrible things. Really horrible things. Like especially Jewish people I know. They say that all the time, that they would go back in time and stop Adolf Hitler from the Holocaust. But let me ask you something. If you believe in the notion that maybe people have gone back in time, but they can't actually change things, like what's happened has happened, and them going back in time is what made it happen, which confuses the crap out of me, but let's stop talking about that. But just, let me ask you, what if later in the future they have perfected time travel, and Jewish people have gone back in time and tried to kill Adolf Hitler and failed over and over and over again, which is why he actually hated the Jews? I know, probably not, but it's worth thinking about. But they also say other things like they'll take certain tragedies that have happened and go like, if I could go back in time, I'd stop 9/11 from ever happening. Or, if I could go back in time, I'd warn them about the Titanic before it sank. Or even one that I hear that I gotta say I kind of agree with. If I could go back in time, I'd stop them from making those Twilight movies. Well, God bless you for that. But I more am like a student of history. I more want to see how things came around. Like, my wife laughs at me at some of the weird documentaries that I watch. Like, she's come in while I'm watching documentaries on the invention of soda. I'm not kidding. Or stumbled upon me while I'm reading an article about the invention of the coffee machine. I'm weird like that. I like to see how things came about. Which is why what I would want to do is I wouldn't want to go back in time and disturb anything, because we don't know what drastic effects it could have on our present. Like, we just don't know. The horrible things like 9/11. Who knows if there was somebody who died in there who was going to go on to be the next Adolf Hitler. I know I seriously doubt that, but you never know. Same thing with the Titanic sinking. Or maybe, thanks to the Twilight movies being made, there was somebody who was inspired by Twilight who should really not be making movies and now can't because they can't come up with anything better than Twilight. But what I would do is I would want to observe, and if I could sit in and observe one moment in time, I think I would go back and listen in on the conversation so I could find out how in the world did the name Dick become short for Richard? Like, it makes no sense. Most short names, we know what they're from. Like, for example, Davy. Obviously, my legal name is David, and Davy is short for it. Or John, or Johnny, is short for Jonathan. And then some get a little confusing. I don't understand how Bill or Billy became short for William, especially because around that time it was common for people to have the name Billiam, but whatever, it kinda goes. I don't get how Jim became short for James, but again, it kinda works. But Dick and Richard are so opposite that it doesn't even fit in a slightest way. Like, Bill and William fit like trying to put the square peg in the circle peg. It's not gonna go in there quite right, but it'll fit. But Dick and Richard would be like trying to put the square peg in the triangle. It's just not going to happen. But somehow it did. And I just want to sit in on that conversation. That conversation where somebody was like, okay, we need a short name for Richard. Kind of the way we call Samuel Sam. Any ideas? How about Dick? That's a good one. Short for Richard. Dick. That doesn't make a lot of sense. Yeah, or how about simply Rich? Or Richie, or even Rick? No, Dick! Yes, in case you're wondering, all those people went back in time with me and reenacted this. It's the perfect short name for Richard. Dick. Okay? We're going with Dick. none of us are following you here, dude. I mean, there's really no logic to any of this. Don't talk to me about logic, son. I know what I'm talking about. And Richard is now Dick. Trust me. I'm the guy who started calling Robert Bob. Now some of you watching are going, really? This is what you would do if you could go back in time? This is stupid. Hey, you go back in time and do what you want. I, on the other hand, want to get to the bottom of how Richard became Dick. So that's my story this week. Just a little rant of what I would do if I could go back in time. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you did, make sure to hit like, hit subscribe, hit that little bell so you get notifications for when I post new videos, and leave a comment. Tell me what you would do if you could go back in time. Love you guys.